Now, if you're anything like me, you'll prefer practical examples to enforce any skills that are being taught. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you how you can create your own custom testimonial setup to dynamically generate testimonials, speeding up the whole process, making it more flexible for you or your clients moving forward. While this is a simple practical example, the skills covered are far-reaching and you can use this in so many different use cases. Check out this video for other ways in which you can speed up working with custom post types and meta fields. Okay, so here's our practical example. We've got the title of the testimonial itself, the photograph of the person that actually wrote it, their name, and their position. But you can expand this in any way that you want to. So let's take a look at how we create it. So first things first, we're going to need to create the custom post type, and then we're going to create the custom meta fields associated with it. So let's come into ACF. Let's choose the option for post types. We'll click to add new. We'll give it a name. We'll put the singular label. And the post type key is automatically generated, but you could change it if you wanted to. We don't worry about taxonomies in this example. If you wanted to organize things, you could do, but we're not going to worry. And you can pop into advanced configuration, and you may want to change things inside here. But we're going to leave the supporting for the title, the editor, and the featured image. These are perfect for what we want. I'm making sure it's active. We'll leave everything else as it is and click Save Changes. So now the next thing we can do is going to add some fields to this, because obviously we need some custom fields on top of what we've just created. So let's add some custom fields in. And for this example, we're going to use two new custom fields. First one's going to be text, and we're just going to put in the author's name. Next, we're going to add another field in. Again, text field is perfectly fine. And this is going to be the author's position. And again, we're going to leave everything else as it is. Next up, we need to set the location rules. Now you can see the post type is equal to testimonial. That's perfectly fine. But if you hadn't chosen the option I've just shown you where you can click to add fields, you'd simply come into this section and change this over to the post type is equal to, and making sure you associate this with the custom post type you just created, in this example, testimonials. So everything is now set up for us. We can hit Save Changes. And you'll see we now have our new testimonial section on the left-hand side. And now we can add a new testimonial, or we can view all the testimonials we have. Let's add a new one in. And you can see now we've got our title, the area for our testimonial, and we've also got our featured image. So these are just the default WordPress options. We also have our custom testimonial fields underneath for our author's name and position. So everything is in place. Let's go and add in a new testimonial. So I started by adding the basic information, the feedback, the actual testimonial itself, the image of the person that sent it, and then we're going to just pop in their name and their position. So these are just our custom fields that we've associated with this post type. Everything is now in place. We'll hit publish. We'll come back out of here. And you can see there is our first testimonial. Now we can obviously add as many as we want to inside here, but this is a great starting point. So this is part one. So the next thing we need to do now is actually link that data to our testimonial kind of layout. Let's go and do that now. For today's video, I'm going to be using Bricks Builder to build all this out, but you don't need to. You could use Generate Blocks, you could use Kadence Blocks Pro, you could use Elementor Pro, whatever tools you actually want to use. The principle is fundamentally the same. Okay, so what we've got here is a design that I've set up. We're going to just replace all this filler placeholder text with our dynamic data. So don't worry about what I built here. You can build it in whatever way you want. So first of all, we've got this heading. This is where we want the title of our feedback to come from. So we're going to select this. We're going to come over to our left-hand panel. We're going to delete this kind of placeholder text. We're going to hit the dynamic data icon. From there, we're going to choose the post title. Again, like I say, this is going to work in exactly the same way if you were using something like Elementor Pro. Next up, we're going to come into our testimonials. We're going to do the same thing here. So we're going to get rid of what's inside here. We're going to delete all that, click our little lightning bolt, choose the post. We're going to choose the post content. You can see that now, replace it with the placeholder. Then we're going to come down to our avatar. We're going to change the image from here. We're going to delete this placeholder, click the little dynamic icon, scroll through until we find the featured image. We'll set this to be just the thumbnail version because we just want a nice small version. Don't worry about the styling or anything else. Author's name, same thing again. We're going to delete this content from here, click our little lightning bolt, scroll down. This is time we're going to start using our custom ACF meta fields we created. So it is our author's name, and the same thing then for the position. So we're going to get rid of this placeholder, check our lightning bolt, find our author's position, and we've now created what we want. Now you're noticing that nothing is actually populating. Now because we're using dynamic data, it doesn't know what data to pull in, where it's going to grab it from. So there's one more thing we need to do in regards to this. We're going to select our card. We're going to come over and choose the option for use query loop. We'll select this. We'll just click on the little query icon. And what we're going to do is we're going to choose posts as our post type. Then we're going to choose testimonials, which is our custom post type. And then we can choose to order these however we want to. But what I want to do is I want to set this up so it'll randomize them. We'll choose the random option. Now this is probably a little different whatever tools you're going to use, but this is specific for only this particular portion. We're going to say the random seed time to live. In other words, how long before a different testimonial on this specific page will be displayed. So I'm going to set this to 1 minute. The nice thing about this in this example is that if someone lands on this page and they actually want to see that testimonial again, they refresh the page or come back to it, as long as it's within 1 minute, they'll see the same testimonial. If it's beyond 1 minute, they'll see a different testimonial from all the collection we have. So if you're using this to dot testimonials like this, using this kind of template structure around your site, this is a nice way of setting everything up. Okay, so now we've got that in place, we can just choose the option to save this. And now if we take a look at previewing this, you can see there is our custom testimonial. There's our amazing service, the testimonial itself. There's the author, their name, and their position or their role, whatever it's going to be. So we've created now a dynamic setup to pull this in. So every time we want to add a new testimonial, all we need to do is come into our new testimonial section, add a new testimonial in, and we can just fill that out and we can have as many testimonials as you want to. So that's how you can set this up. Now, there's one other thing I want to show you though. Now we've created this, we probably want to use the same layout throughout different parts of our site, creating new pages, dropping this into relevant different sections. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this testimonial block, that's the whole block, including our dynamic data link and connections and things like that. We're simply going to select this. We're going to choose the option by right-clicking and say Save as Template. We're going to call this Testimonial Template. This is a section. If you want to apply bundles, we can do that. So we say default templates. If you want to apply a tag, you can apply that here. We'll say save as template, and we've now created our dynamic template, and we can use this anywhere in our site. Let's add a new page in. We'll edit this with bricks, and all we're going to do is we're going to add in a template. There's our testimonial template. We'll click insert. And now that's been inserted, and you can see that's pulled in our dynamic data. And again, this is using all the same setup, so all the connections are in place. We can use this anywhere throughout a site because it's randomized. It'll pull in the data dynamically from our new custom post type with our additional custom meta fields included. So this is a really good example of how you can really speed up the process of dynamic content, connecting these custom post types, using a template structure, and use that throughout your entire site. Really couldn't get much simpler than this. And if you want to learn more about using ACF, custom post types, and other use cases, check out this video next.